Hello and welcome to the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast with your host, Kimberly Dunn of Idlewild Horsemanship and Mindset Coaching. This podcast is here to bring you the very best in tips, tricks, and advice to help you better understand yourself, your mindset, and your horse, because your horsemanship starts with you. Let's go. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horsemanship and Mindset podcast. I am delighted, as always, to have you here. I hope you've had a great week. And this episode is a very special one this week. It is a whole year since this podcast first launched. So happy birthday to the podcast. Happy first anniversary. Here we are. If you follow me on the socials, you will see that if you're listening to this kind of at the in what's the word, like in real time, which is it comes out on the 24th of October 2025. You will see that there is a special competition. So if you have not yet entered the podcast 1 year anniversary competition on Instagram, get your bottom over to Instagram and get entering, because there's 3 really cool prizes. You can win a one-to-one session with me, you can win the Ride or Cry audio bundle, or you can win a ticket to the very special New Year's Empower Hour. So head on over to Instagram to check out the birthday posts. Get entered, and I will be announcing the winners on Monday. So stay tuned for that. So let's dive in. So in this week's episode, I'm going to be answering your questions. I sent out an email and I announced this on my stories, did a little question box asking you to send in your questions, and you did. So I'm going to be answering 10 of those questions today. If your question is not answered in this episode, never fear. I will do another Q&A episode at some point, and I will bundle your question in with those for the next one. But I didn't want to be chatting away at you for too long, so I've just kept it to 10. Also, just to say, as kind of like a year on anniversary type thing, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. If you've shared episodes, if you've told other people about it, thank you. And I have, over the last couple of weeks, actually, weirdly, had some really nice messages or chatted to people who have had some really nice things to say about the podcast. And I'm so glad that it has helped people, you, in the way that it has. That's the whole point of it. My goal with the podcast was to help people realize that they are not beyond help, that like simple changes and bits of knowledge can help you make big, big changes in your life with your horse. So yeah, I'm so glad that you're finding it helpful, and I will continue to keep on keeping on with it. And I will make sure as well, like I was I was being really good at having guests on, and I've just kind of like got busy and not done that for the last probably, I don't know, 6 months. But I will get back on that next year. I'll be getting some guests again just to bring you a bit of variety and some other voices in the industry to help us all grow our knowledge when it comes to ourselves and our horses, so that we can be the best humans for our horses that we can and have the best relationship that we can. So, yeah, right. Without further ado, let's get into these questions. Okay, so question number 1. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to name names on this. I will keep it all anonymous. So these are nameless questions. Question number 1. I have lost all my confidence after a fall. Even though I wasn't badly hurt, I can't stop replaying it in my head every time we go to ride past this spot. How do I actually move past it and trust my horse again? Great question. Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that you are feeling this way and that this is coming up for you now. And the thing is sometimes, things can seem really insignificant. Like that fall wasn't necessarily a bad fall, but it's affecting you now. So it's important to know that this is actually quite normal. And what's happening here is your your subconscious mind, which is there to keep you safe. It's there to keep you alive. Unfortunately, it's not here to keep you confident. Wouldn't that be nice? It's here to keep you safe. So what's happening is every time you approach that same spot or you think about riding that same spot, um, your subconscious is throwing up. Either it's like pinging off your nervous system so that you are going into survival mode where you feel nervous, or it's sending you thoughts of, what if this happens again, etc. So first of all, know that that's what's happening. It's a survival instinct that's popping in now. It doesn't matter whether the fall was bad or not. Your subconscious had registered it as a risk. Um, so we need to work past this now. So how do you move past it? How do you trust your horse again? Let's give you 3 steps. So step 1 is just give yourself some compassion. Just kind of inwardly give yourself some compassion and remember, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't you against your brain. This is you starting to work with your brain and understand, okay, I see you, you're here to keep it safe. That's step 1. Because when we kind of turn against ourselves in this way, when we try and reject that part of us that's coming up trying to keep us safe, we make it want to come back faster and harder because it's like, no, I do need to protect you. So if you can kind of like agree, okay, I appreciate you, I see you, I know you're here to keep me safe, that kind of helps to ease the process of making changes. Step 2, break down the process. So rather than trying to, just get on with it or just blast past whatever this thing is in order for you to get over it, break it down. Okay. So the area where you had the fall or the thing you were doing that you had the fall, don't just try and get back into it the same, you know, break it down. So say for instance, it's a particular spot on a hack. I want you to either don't go past that spot and build up to going towards it, or when you do go past the spot, just stop a couple of times, just break it down. So here's the spot. I'm just going to stop here. I'm just going to stand. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to bring in some nervous system rhythm here. I'm going to just stop here and just do a bit of breath work. Just check, listen to the birds, just chill out here. And so you start to shift the association that you have in your mind with this spot. Okay. Break it down and build it up. Step 3 is start to rewire your own mind, okay? So we have a negative association with this place and probably with your own ability too. So I want you to start rewiring this by every ride that you have, notice 3 good things from that ride. Notice 3 things that you did well, okay? So you start to rebuild your own confidence. Because it's so easy for us, and again, this is a survival thing, for us to notice and only remember what went wrong, okay? But if you can start noticing the things that went well, you will start to see yourself as this capable person, which will help build your confidence again, okay? So step 1, have some compassion for yourself. Step 2, what's step 2? Break it down. Step 3, remember 3 good things from each, or notice 3 good things from each ride. So you can start to rewire your mind and build confidence again. Okay, I hope that was helpful. And just to say as well, for everyone that submitted questions, if it was helpful, let me know. Drop me a message. Or if you have any further questions, drop me a message. Question 2. I love my horse, but sometimes I dread riding. I feel anxious before I even get to the yard. How do I stop that feeling taking over before I've even got on? Ooh, okay. Good questions. Good question. I'm sorry that you that you were dreading riding. And okay, so what we need to do then is to stop this feeling. We need to shift this feeling. So That feeling of anxiety and that feeling of dread, I'm sure we've all been there and we can feel it. I remember I used to feel it in my tummy, I used to get butterflies in my tummy. So how we shift it. If this is starting before you even get to the yard, this is where we can start shifting. So what I want you to do is one of my favorite ways to shift state, which is put on your favorite playlist. And it can be power ballads, it can be Taylor Swift's new album, which I'm loving, by the way. Whatever it is, put something on, sing your head off to it, okay? And I mean, like, belt it out. Because what that does is it totally shifts your state. It shifts your state for a few reasons. Um, there's obviously, like, the catharsis, ooh, good big word for me, that comes from singing, okay? From expressing emotion through your voice, all right? Then there's also, the breathing that's coming with that singing helps to regulate you. The vibration that you create in your rib cage from your wonderful singing helps to tone the vagus nerve, which is what's kind of runs your nervous system. So helps you to relax and you're moving energy through. You're getting rid of that nervous dread energy. Okay. Um, and then the other thing that happens is you can't catastrophize because you're too busy thinking about the words and the lyrics of the song. Okay. It is the perfect combination to help you shift your state before you even get to the yard. All right. So let's say you do that. You get to the yard, you feel good. Then you chuck your saddle on your horse. Obviously, you don't chuck it on. You place it gently, lovingly. You're all tacked up. You got in the arena. You're ready to get on. And then suddenly the nerves come in again. Okay. I want you to just take a moment, step aside from your horse and just shake your hands out like you're wringing off water. Again, we're starting to regulate our body. We're getting out of our head and into our body. I'm shaking my hands now, like you can see them. Of course, you can. But shake your hands out. And then take a couple of breaths. Take one big breath in and let it out so you can hear the horse can hear you too. And you'll notice that helps to shift you. Okay. So get out of your head and into your body. Do something to shift your state, and that will help get rid of those nerves. All right. I hope that was helpful. Question 3. My horse can be really spooky, and then I instantly tense up, which I know makes him worse. Yes, correct. It is a cycle. How can I calm myself in the moment so I don't feed his anxiety? Okay, so same thing. Get out of your head and into your body. So you have to be your horse's calm anchor. Okay, you are the other half of the partnership. So yes, you are correct when you say that. Like when you tense up, then your horse is going to tense up. So you need to get out of your head into your body. So breath work again. So just to add in some more nervous system regulation stuff, you can shake your hands out. Take your horse for a walk. Like before you get on your horse, take them for a walk around the arena. Don't just make it a few laps. Make it like do some figures of 8, do some circles, then do a lap, but change gears, slow down, speed up. Okay. Not only is this going to get you focused, it's going to get your horse focused. It allows you both to move to get that kind of nervous energy out. But also, you walking. Walking is a really, really great way to regulate your nervous system for a few sciencey reasons that I won't go into in this episode because I go into other episodes. But yeah, have a walk around. Shake it out, shake your hands out, do some breaths. So again, like really kind of like audible breathing will also help your horse to relax. So belly breaths, take a deep breath into your belly, feel that belly space expand as you breathe out, notice it contract. That's really going to help you. You need to slow your heart rate, so slow your breath, okay? And again, this is going to help your horse. Yeah, hope that was helpful. Question 4. Oh, this is a good one. I'm pretty sure I talked about this the other day on the podcast. I compare myself to everyone at my yard. They all seem so confident and brave, and I feel like I'm the only one that's a nervous wreck in the corner. How do I stop comparing? Okay. Please know that no matter how much it looks like everybody else is absolutely smashing it, and like they're the biggest, bravest person you've ever seen, whether this is at your yard, whether this is on the socials, okay, they will have had a point in their lives with horses where they have felt like they're not enough, where they have compared themselves, where they have struggled with nerves one way or another. Okay. So just know you are not an anomaly. This is normal for every human at some point. Okay. And good for them if they are confident and relaxed. Okay. But just know that there's nothing wrong with you. You are just going through something right now and you can help yourself through it. Okay. So I hope even that is going to help you stop comparing yourself. But if you're still comparing yourself, here's some other things that I want you to remember. Okay. Your horse needs you to be focusing on you and the horse, not other people. So take your eyes off the other people, focus on you, focus on your own journey, quote unquote. I don't really like some journey. I'm starting to think it's a bit naff, but focus on that. Focus on you. Focus on your horse because that's where your focus needs to be, not on everyone else. Everyone else is on their own thing. You know, they have their own struggles, they have their own goals that aren't yours. So take your focus, stay in your own lane. Know that this is what you need to deal with right now, what is in front of you, not what's going on for everyone else. Okay. Because take it from me, they'll be worrying about other things. You do you. Sending you lots of love with that because it's easier said than done. But just know if you really need to strip it down, your horse needs you to focus on them, not everyone else, at the very bare minimum. Okay. Take a breath and go, do you. I hope that was helpful. It was a little pep talk there. Okay. Question number 5. I've done all the groundwork and the mindset work. Okay, good. But when I'm in the saddle, everything that I've learned just disappears. Why does that happen and how can I fix it? Okay. So this is going to be another little bit of a pep talk, okay? Because I do sometimes come across clients or people at clinics or at yards or whatever who, quote unquote, know all this stuff, okay? But you know it. You've listened to the podcasts, you've watched the videos, maybe you've done the subscriptions with people. But have you actually put it into practice? Because if you don't put it into practice, if you don't make this knowledge that you've heard, that you've seen, if you don't make it real and put it into your everyday, it's not going to happen. Okay. The shifts aren't going to happen. You can like listen to all the podcasts and learn about all these different things. But if you don't actually then go and apply it every day to your life, to your horse, the changes aren't going to happen. Okay. You need to actually do the thing in order for the shifts to happen. So if that's the case, if you haven't been every day, been regulating your nervous system, been practicing, gratitude or changing and reframing your mind and things like that, the changes aren't going to happen because it takes more than listening to a podcast or watching some videos on YouTube or going for a lesson or two now and then. It takes more than that to make those shifts. It's in habits. It's in making those things every day making those things into your routine, putting those things every day into your routine. Unfortunately, this happens. We listen to a podcast or we watch some videos and we think, okay, I know this, but it's not until you put it into practice that the shifts will happen for you and you can actually change your outlook and you can rewire your mind on a neurological level. So that's that on that. But the other side of it is, your nervous system isn't regulated. If you have gotten on your horse and everything's gone out the window and you're nervous and you can't then access that knowledge, you need to regulate yourself. So again, this comes down to nervous system regulation. Take some breaths. And I don't just mean like actually do a 5 count breath, 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out until you can calm down. Then you can access your prefrontal cortex where all of that like logical thinking lives and you can remember the stuff you've learned. So I hope that was helpful. Bit of tough love there. I say it with love, of course. Okay. Question 6. Oh, another kind of comparison-y, judgy one. Right. I want to start going to clinics again, but I am terrified of being judged by the coach or trainer, um, or even worse, by the other riders on the clinic. How do I stop worrying about what other people are going to think? Okay. So again, so common. So common. Now, here's the thing. Um the coach, the trainer, the instructor, whoever it is at whatever clinic it is that you want to do, they are not here to judge you. They are here to help you. The whole point of a clinic is for you to learn, and everybody is there to learn. Okay? This instructor, this coach, this trainer, if they are judging you or coaching in such a way that you feel judged, they are not the coach for you. And this isn't because they're bad, it's not because you're bad, it's because you're not a fit. Okay? So that is information for you. Okay? So if you get there and you feel unsupported and you feel that they're not benefiting you, that's okay. Just don't go to them again. It's information. It's not personal. It doesn't mean you're broken or a bad person or not a good horse person. It means you're not a fit. Okay? So that's one side of it. Their job, though, their job, the reason why you're there and you're paying them is to help you learn and to help you progress. Okay? So they shouldn't be making you feel judged. Okay? So I want you to just kind of go in with that, like you're paying them to help you. That's the bottom line. When we come to the other riders, anybody who is doing more than you, who is quote unquote better than you, or more experienced or more skilled, knows what it takes to get there. They will not be judging you, okay? Because they know how tough it is to get to where you want to be, okay? Everyone else is going to be too busy worrying about themselves before they are worrying about what you're doing and what they think of you, okay? They're too busy worried about themselves. So again, take a breath, stay in your own lane, focus on what you want to get at. What do you want to get out of this clinic? And what's the progress you want to make? And focus on that. You want to go there and you want to improve your canter transitions. Focus on that, not how other people's canter transitions are. Yeah. Because going and worrying about what everyone else is thinking, including the instructor, that's not helpful to you. Remember why you're paying to go there. Why are you paying to go there? Because you want help with this, and this. Focus on that. I hope that was helpful. Lots of love to you. Go enjoy your clinic. Okay. I'm feeling a bit, can you tell I'm feeling a bit like, not sassy, but this is because I'm in my, if you listened, everyone, did you listen to oh God, I can't get my word out, the menstrual cycle episode? If you did, good. If you didn't, go back and listen to it. I'm in my luteal phase right now, my late luteal. So I am feeling a little bit more kind of like bish bash bosh than I would normally. So this is the coach that you're getting today in the episode. Okay, so right, what question is it next? I'm just looking for my list. Right, question 7. Sometimes I feel like my horse doesn't trust me anymore. Oh, how can I rebuild our connection and get back to enjoying being together? Great question. Okay, so you feel like your horse doesn't trust you anymore. So, the way to build trust with your horse and connection is to be consistent in your aids and your cues with them, and the moments that you reward things, so that you are being clear with them all the time. So when we blur lines in our training or in what we in our boundaries or in what oh God, in what we will and won't accept from them, behavior-wise or training-wise, when we are clear and everything is black and white and not blurred, that's where they start to trust you because they have that consistency. When you are vague, that's where they're like, "What?" They don't understand what's going on, and then because you're not being consistent and clear, that's where a lot of trust breaks down. Um, you can also build trust up by breaking things down for them, by, um, gently stretching their comfort zone and trying instead of trying to, like, blast through things and just get on with it, by having empathy and compassion for your horse, by responding to them, by understanding when something is becoming too much for your horse, and reacting by breaking things down for them. So yeah, just take some time as well to spend time with your horse rather than always we can very easily fall into a habit of like turning up to the yard and expecting things from our horse, like expecting them to do X, X, and X. Like, what about spending time with your horse where you're not expecting anything? What about just hanging out together, spending a bit of time, grooming, just sitting with them in a paddock? Um, just hang out again, like, with no expectation, because that's where a lot of trust and connection can build again. So, just to summarize that, we can build trust and connection with our horses by breaking things down for them, by reading their body language and noting how they're feeling. And if something's becoming too much, stopping, breaking it down, allowing them to reset by being really, really clear and consistent with our cues and our rewarding and pressure off, etc., when we're training. And then also by spending time with them without expectation, without expecting something of them. So I hope that was helpful. Okay, question 8. I have watched, this is very similar to the other question. I've watched so many trainers and read so much about confidence, but I feel stuck, like none of it works for me. How do I know what I actually need? Oh, right. Okay. So each person is individual. Like there is no one thing that, like, this is like with horses. There's no one thing that will help every single, well, actually, is that right? Because nervous system regulation helps everyone. But it's how you get there that counts. And this is different for each person. So again, like with our horses, not every one training method or someone's training program is going to be able to help every single horse because we're all so individual with totally different like lived experiences and hang-ups and conditioning. We're all so different. Okay. So, um, but what does come into that is actually doing the thing. So again, you can watch loads of training videos, you can listen to loads of podcasts, you can read loads of different self-help books. But if you don't spend time actually putting things into practice and applying it to your life, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, you know. We can read all the stuff, but if you're not physically putting it into practice every single day, you are not going to rewire your brain. Um, so what do you actually need? Well, you can uh, apply to work with me and I can help you. Okay, so how do I know what I actually need? Um, I would say through trying these things and actually applying the time. So for instance, I know from the work I do and from the qualifications I've got and the research that I've done and the time that I've put in with myself and with clients, nervous system regulation is the basis of everything and will help you to shift um, your state so that you can start to become more confident. So if I was going to say, here's one thing everyone should do, no matter who you are, what your background is, what your conditioning is, what your hang-ups are, go learn about nervous system regulation. So start there. Start by, I mean, look, I've done a couple of podcast episodes about this. You can try the Ride or Cry kit, which has got some nervous system regulation info in there. Or you can just look it up Start practicing different nervous system regulation techniques. See which one you resonate with and what is easiest for you to keep coming back to, and go from there. And once you kind of know how to help yourself just calm in the moment, you'll find that makes a big difference. But you've got to actually do it. You've got to actually put in the work. That's the one thing. You've got to actually put the time and effort into it. And whether that's like setting an alarm on your phone or writing a note in your diary to actually start doing the work, then that's what you need to do. God knows I need to set myself alarms to remind myself of stuff. Um, but I feel like I've kind of gone off topic a bit. But so to answer your question, how do I know what I actually need? Start actually applying the stuff. Because again, watching so many trainers, reading about confidence isn't enough. What works is you actually putting things into practice. And if I was going to name one thing for you to do and try, it would be nervous system regulation for a start. So go away, do that first, then start to think about what else can work from you. And know that just because you feel like none of it's working for you right now doesn't mean it's not. It just means you need to start applying yourself, and then different things will shift for you and you'll see that it does work. You just need to come from different angles. I hope that was helpful. I feel like that was a very kind of round the houses kind of an answer to the question. Okay, question number 9. When things go wrong, I instantly blame myself. Okay. How do I stop that pattern of self-talk, of being horrible to myself, and start being nicer? Okay, so this is a habit. Negative self-talk is a habit that we all have, particularly um, Brits. We are very good at talking ourselves down, at being self-deprecating. It's a form of our like humor. But unfortunately, then what happens is we start rewiring our own brain to start believing that stuff without even knowing that we're doing it. And then because we have those habits and because we have that practice, it then starts controlling our actions and reactions to things, which then affects our environment, which then feeds into that negative belief that we've given ourselves because we're always talking ourselves down. It's a whole thing. So here's how you can stop it. You can bring in some pattern interrupts. Okay. So the fact that you've asked this question to me shows me that you know you're doing it. Okay. So self awareness is the first place you start. Then we can bring in these pattern interrupts. So the next time you start to hear yourself or think to yourself these negative thoughts, stop. Either count backwards from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or imagine a stop sign in your head saying stop. That's a pattern interrupt. Okay. And that's stopping you from going down that same path. Then you can start to reframe. Ask yourself, is this a fact or is this an opinion that I'm thinking this? Like, is it a fact that I'm going to fall off? Is it a fact that this is my fault? No, that's an opinion. So let's shift it. Let's reframe. Like, what if I'm not at fault? What if we do have a nice time? Rather than saying things like, I'm rubbish at this, reframe it to I'm working on this. Okay. So here's how we stop it. You recognize it, you bring in your stop sign, you bring in your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then you do your reframe. Is this a fact? Is this an opinion? Is this helpful to me right now? No, it's not. And then you can reframe. I'm working on this right now. Would I speak to my friend like this? No, I would not. How would I speak to my friend? Well, this is how I'm going to speak to myself, etc., etc. I hope that was helpful. And finally, question 10. I'm trying to be more positive, but it feels fake. Oh, yes, this is going to be a good question. It feels like I'm lying to myself. How do I start genuinely believing in myself again? Okay, this is a really good question because this kind of feeds into the whole narrative of like toxic positivity, spiritual bypassing, all that side of things. Because that is a thing. You can't just like this isn't about this work that I do that I talk about all the time, isn't about you pretending that you're okay. isn't about faking it till you make it. It's not about, putting a plaster over this stuff. So trying to be more positive isn't the key, but looking at things in a more positive light is. Okay? So the way to shift this narrative, I would say, is to start trying to look at things in more of a growth mindset kind of a way. So rather than saying, so for instance, I am amazing. I am an amazing rider. Okay. If you feel like you're rubbish, saying to yourself or trying to believe I'm amazing, that's not gonna resonate. It's not gonna feel real. Okay. But changing the sentence, changing the language to what if I am amazing or I am working at being amazing makes it more tangible, makes it feel a little more real. And that opens up then more kind of possibilities of positive scenarios in your head. Okay. So rather than saying, I'm amazing, say, I am working at being amazing. I am working towards being amazing. What if I am amazing? Okay. That feels more tangible. That's going to be easier for you to keep repeating and for you to take on. So try that. Okay. Rather than like glossing over it, what if you are amazing? You're working at being more amazing. I think you're amazing. Um, Yeah. So do it like that. And then that's going to help you to start shifting and actually believing in yourself again. So I hope that was helpful. There we go. I hope if you didn't submit a question that was helpful to you. I hope if you did submit a question and I answered it today, I hope my answer was helpful. If you have any further questions or you want any further clarification on anything or you have any comments on anything, please feel free to drop me an email at info@idlewildhorsemanship.com or send me a DM on socials. So, that is it for today's Q&A episode. I hope some of those questions really resonated with you and the answers were helpful. And maybe they even gave you a few little light bulb moments for your own um, journey with your horse. Um, if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to dive a little bit deeper into rewiring your mind for calm, confidence, and connection, don't forget you can grab the Ride or Cry kit. It's an audio bundle packed with my favorite audio tools to help you reset your body and your mind so you can actually enjoy your time with your horse again. And you can find that via a link in the old show notes. And if you want to win something special, like I talked about earlier, I've got the little competition running over on Instagram right now. So head over to my Instagram page, which is at the Horsemanship and Mindset Coach, to find the instructions on how to enter and get entering. Um, as always, if this episode helped you, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. Share it with a friend who might need to hear it and leave a quick review because it really does help find more, help more riders find the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this podcast. I am so thankful you're here. And good on you for doing this inner work, for learning more about yourself, get applying that stuff to your life, and for choosing to believe that change is possible. Because it is. It's totally possible for you. I will see you next week. And until then, keep believing in yourself, keep looking for that joy in your horses, and I'll see you in the next episode.